Clap. Hello, hello. With the Memorial Day weekend coming up, we thought we'd do a quick podcast about the holiday.
Happening?
What's happening this weekend. Very busy time for the island.
Absolutely. Super busy, but super fun. I think the weather's going to be amazing.
Supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, weather's been crazy lately. Super nice.
Yeah.
And Causeway gets really popular.
Right. A lot of the locals love to come to the Causeway, set up camp for the day. They'll bring all their tents and their grills and.
Yeah, I think it's more than locals. I think people travel far and wide. I mean, it's one of the few places anywhere where you can actually pull up with your car and open your trunk and grill out right on the beach.
Right.
And people get there really, really early to save a spot.
Yeah.
So if you are planning on it, make sure you get there even earlier because they go quick.
They are. And probably the best place. So the first island, there are no facilities as far as restrooms. But
so just to explain a little bit about how the Causeway cut when you approach from Summerlin Road.
Right. So there's 3 bridges and 2 islands.
Okay,
so
this first span is called Span A. So you're talking about the island right after that.
Right. The first island you come to after you come over the Span A is there are no facilities as far as restrooms there, but there are picnic tables and things of that nature. But the span that everybody seems to go to is, or the island that everybody seems to go to is the second one. After you pass the second bridge and then you get to the second island, that's where the facilities are.
Yeah, the first island you seem to see a lot of people just walking out waist deep in water just because. I don't know why.
Here's a screenshot from our video.
Just having
you can
a look.
see.
Oh,
you
there
can
you
see
go.
span. There's Island A, and then Island Island B in the background back here.
Now, if you're going to get there early enough for sunrise, then obviously you'd be facing the east, and it's one of the few places on the island you see sunrise and sunset.
Yeah.
And if you want to be there for sunset, then have your stuff facing the west, I guess. Yeah. Which, as you come over the Causeway, would be the right-hand side of the Causeway.
Right. And so sunsets what time?
Around about 8:10 at the moment.
8:10.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a perfect spot. And speaking of the Causeway, there is a ton of people asking about the Causeway tolls on all the Sanibel forums. So I thought we'd talk about that.
Yeah, the Sanibel tolls are normally pretty straightforward because you drive up to the toll booth, somebody stops you,
cash,
and you hand over some cash. What could be harder?
Right.
Or you have a sun pass and you just go through the fast paying lane where you don't
Not
pay.
a sun pass, a leeway toll.
Leeway toll.
Mm-hmm.
Or the sun pass works as well, I believe. But
what are they doing now, Mom?
So now, like Nick said, it was literally $6. They didn't take credit cards, nothing.
$2 for a motorcycle and then $2
right.
per extra axle as well.
And then there was 2 little booths that a person would sit at each booth, and you'd pull up, and you'd actually physically have to hand them $6, or they would make change.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it would cause a huge backup.
But because of obviously recent turn of events, the toll booth attendees have fled into the sunset. We don't know where they've gone.
Yeah, don't know where they are now.
I don't know.
But it's dead easy. All you got to do is drive through it.
Right. So
don't stop. You see people.
Stop, do not pass go. But we still see people stopping.
People try to stop all the time. Yeah. There's nobody in the toll booths, believe me.
No.
And nobody's going to take your money. So the way it works is when you go through the toll, the cameras are going to take a picture of your tag, and you will be your license plate, and you're going to be billed through the mail. So
and I've heard reports that it could take weeks, months before you actually get the bill in the mail. Some people think you're not going to get it, and a month later you all of a sudden receive a bill.
And if you're in a rental car, where does the bill go? Does it go to the rental agency?
Yes.
And they'll bill you later on?
Correct. And that's another big thing that everybody's talking about on the forums is the rental agencies are tacking on top a convenience fee on top of the $6 toll. So it could be $3.95 on top of the $6 toll. I've heard $5.95 for each trip.
It's worth looking into if you are renting. If you're renting a car, it's definitely worth looking into. And we tried to do a summary of research. We did do a summary. Actually, you can check it out on the sancapguide.com. There's a whole post about, which we'll link in the
I'll link
description
it,
about below about tolls.
Right.
But you definitely look into it if you're renting a car, because
there is a way to turn off the what the rental cars charge you and actually put your own transponder on the dash. So there's 4 options. There's the Leeway toll, which we're in Lee County, so we have a special toll conglomerate called the Leeway. Then there's the Sun Pass, which is good for all of Florida. And then there's 2 other ones. There's one called the E-Pass, which I just looked up here. That's for Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. And then the last one is the Unipass, and that covers 18 states. So it does get a bit convoluted and confusing which one you should use, but we did, like Nick said, we did a whole rundown on our website of.
Basically, if you're visiting Florida and you're traveling around Florida, then you should probably get the Sun Pass, because that covers everything in Florida. If you're just doing locally here from the airport, then get the Lee County one would probably be the best thing to do.
You can normally pick up at like a CVS or a Publix or a Walgreens, but I've heard reports too of those being difficult to get.
Yeah, because now everybody wants them. So
right.
Really?
So the option is to actually go to the Leeway facility, which is on Colonial, and those are it's only open certain hours.
check online, basically,
Right.
and check online for availability. I mean, it's.
And then another way to do it is actually order on Amazon. You can order a Sun Pass on Amazon, and
Really?
it comes straight to your door. You can put in your car details, and people are doing that with the rental cars too. Once they rent the car, they actually get the license plate number. I think you can do it online, or you call up and you actually register the rental car license plate under your Sun Pass toll, and then you can use it that way. So you won't be charged that extra. You'll still be charged the $6, but you won't be charged the $3.95, $4.95.
Right.
Extra
And then
on
the
top.
other thing, I'm being a motorcycle rider myself. Every time I go through the toll once a month, we ended up having to call up Leeway, because I should only be getting charged $2, but it can't differentiate between a car and a motorcycle. So I always get charged a full
The
car
$6,
rate.
right.
So I have to phone up once a month and say, no, this was a motorcycle. And they adjust it, no problem at all. So, and then if you've got trailers, they charge you a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's working now. They're doing it with the cameras. I'm not sure how they can tell, but.
So it's been good and bad, because the traffic is flowing a lot
Better.
than it used to, because every single person would have to stop. But then the downside of that is the extra little kind of hoops that you have to jump through
To pay it.
to pay everything.
But anyway, everybody, I guarantee you, this Monday will be finding their way in droves to the Sanibel Causeway. That's a fact.
Yeah, so once you get your toll paid, what is there to do on the causeway?
The biggest thing people do is set up camp for the day. I think, like, you maybe just, set up as a family, and, people bring RVs down there and park them sideways along
Grills.
the beach.
There's
big
grills out there,
grills
right?
and music and
There are grills, there are picnic tables, obviously first come, first serve.
people will bring their boats. They'll launch their boats at the Punta Rassa ramp and then anchor offshore and
Right.
use their boats and jet skis as well. So
Yeah.
Good thing to bring is
And
like
the grills are obviously staked in the ground. You can't move them, and they're charcoal only. You have to bring your own
bring some charcoal.
Right. And we've seen people load up their own grills.
people bring. It is unbelievable what people will bring.
Like
Yes.
full size
mean,
grills?
Full-size
Like
grills.
full-size grills the size of this table, like big smokers. They'll literally get there and be there they'll be
day
there 6 o'clock
grilling.
in the morning. I've been going to do shoots early in the morning. I'll see them already
Yeah.
set up. I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually some people there from the night before,
Which actually you're not allowed to do.
you're not allowed to, but I think people get there so early you could technically kill it the night before.
Right. Another thing, fishing obviously is huge
Huge.
on the causeway, because it's so easy. You literally just cast your rod right there.
Do bring, if you are coming and you're listening to this, do bring extra trash bags and try and take away trash with you,
I
because
agree.
honestly, after the weekend, is literally mountains of it, and it's not fair on the local city employees. I mean, people literally is 10 feet tall with trash. People normally
They
collect
pile
it
up
together in big
around.
piles, but if everybody could take a bag of trash home with them, it would be.
Right, because there are the facility do have the trash cans there, but like you say,
They're full by 10 a.m. So
yeah.
then it just ends up big mountains of trash. But
Right, and then another thing they have are those PVC pipes where you can put
for the monofilament.
The monofilament.
Yeah, so you don't get the wildlife don't get caught up in it.
Right. So if you happen to break something off your fishing lure, or if you find something, there's actually these PVC pipes where you can put monofilament in. And
did anyone look at the weather forecast this weekend? It's also a really popular spot for kiteboarding, but I don't know what the weather's going to be like this weekend, so I'm sure I haven't looked at the wind anyway.
Yeah, and that's even fun to watch if you're not a kiteboarder. I love to actually just see the kiteboarders out there.
They're so talented.
Yeah.
Aren't they? They're crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people are getting into explain the hydrofoil.
Oh, the hydrofoil. There's we have a friend Rudy who likes to hydrofoil. It's kite surfing, but the actual board itself, instead of being a double-ended, looks like a wakeboard that goes both ways. They actually underneath it has a hydrofoil, so they start off the same way, but as they pick up speed, they come out of the ground and they can just cut through the waves. So they're super fast.
It's crazy. It's like they're floating.
Yeah, and they cut through the waves and everything. So it makes them quicker. It's pretty impressive to watch how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would that's pretty much the roundup on the causeway.
Just one last thing is like kayaking. It'd be cool to bring kayaks out there. People kayak over to Picnic Island. You can kayak under the bridge, around the bridge, see how the bridge is built.
Yeah. One thing people do for jet skis, you do not try to launch them from the actual causeway itself, because that is a fine.
It's something that you would think would be easy to do, and it is easy to do. You just reverse your trailer in there, but don't do it because you will get a ticket.
Yeah, and they will
be checking for it.
So you'd have to actually go to Punta Raso, which is the boat ramp, before you get on the causeway and launch it from there, and it would just be a quick trip over to the actual causeway.
And you'd probably be better off bringing your trailer back to the causeway, because parking at the boat ramp this weekend will be at a premium. It's going to be absolutely mobbed. So if you're not set in stone about going boating, I would wait for another weekend. If you really want to go, then there's going to be a lot of people out boating.
And another thing is,
it's probably one of the busiest days of the year for boating.
Another thing to note: the Causeway Islands are owned by Lee County, so there is no alcohol allowed on the Causeway Islands. Even on Sanibel beaches, you are allowed to have alcohol, but on the Lee County.
Yeah.
On the causeway.
Really?
So.
I did not know that.
I don't think anybody on the causeway knows that either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, bring a red Solo cup. You'll probably be all right.
Yeah. So just something to note. No open fires. Dogs have to be on leash.
Apart from that, happy days.
Yeah. But apart from
all those rules.
Yeah. Which aren't too hard to follow.
No. And then you can see a video that we did about the Sanibel Causeway, which can be found on our YouTube channel, the Sandcap Guide YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It includes all the history, and a few years back, the causeway was rebuilt in 2007. What year was the first one built, Max? 1968?
68?
I think 1963.
63.
Yeah.
So the new one was built in 2007, and the old one was in really bad disrepair. And it was actually not... they didn't realise how bad it was. They knew that the concrete was coming to the end of its life. And then a friend of ours, Rusty, he had a job as a dive-in to go and check it out and film. Rusty Fast, great videographer, check him out. He went and dove the legs of the first span, and literally he could fit his abdomen between the uprights,
the cracks
through the cracks. So literally overnight, they made the speed limit on the causeway 20 miles an hour.
10.
Was it 10?
10 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was quite incredible. And there was I just read a thing about Ron White. Let me read you this. It's quite funny. In Blue Collar Comedy Tour, One for the Road, 2000, comedian Ron White makes a reference to the old Sanibel Causeway Bridge when he said he was pulled over for driving 11 miles per hour in a 5 mile per hour zone on the bridges. The speed limit was indeed reduced to 10 miles per hour on one of the bridges after speculation the bridges were severely damaged from corrosion.
Speculation, not speculation. It was
totally true. And it was tough because it was slowed down so much to a crawl. It would take you forever to get home.
They actually spent a day. They completely shut down the bridges and spent an entire day like patching it up before they could get the new bridge built.
There was even a big influx of, I don't know if that's the right word, but basically lots of people were lost so much confidence in the bridges themselves that they were buying those seatbelt.
Oh, right, where you could slash your seatbelt.
Seatbelts, and then they'd been told to keep their windows down, so people were driving with their windows down. Should you end up in the water, the pressure wouldn't equalise,
Right.
so you got to make
The
sure.
little hammers that would
So
smash your
people
window
actually
out.
had kits because they were that concerned.
Just because
about.
of the bridge. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we got a nice new one now.
Yeah. 2000.
Exactly.
You guys remember running the 5K on for the first day or something? We ran over the bridge
I think you were allowed to walk over.
or
I
the
don't-
walk it.
Yeah. I don't know if we physically ran.
Walk it. Yeah.
Right.
I remember
Pretty
that. I
good
was
run, to
what,
be honest.
9? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So now we've got a new bridge, and it used to be really slow because obviously you had the drawbridge, but now you don't have a drawbridge.
Yeah. No, I definitely
Waiting for
remember
the
walking
drawbridge.
that because your sister Brooke was like 3 or 4 at that time, and she was having a hissy fit, so I literally had to pick her up. A
Carry her.
3-year-old, carry her up and over the bridge.
I remember I found a one of those reflectors that was on the road, and I took it home. I thought it was the coolest thing.
'Cause I'm
Oh,
turning
From the
you
new
in, mate.
construction. Yeah.
I'm turning you
Within
in.
the new construction. Yeah. Yeah. County property. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what else we got, Laurie? What else you?
What's the book you've been reading?
Okay.
Laurie's book club.
Right. So right now I am reading Ding, The Life of J. Norwood Darling. You want to tell people, Nick, who J. Norwood Darling
He
is?
was a cartoonist, and back in the day, I think cartoonists were on par with
yeah,
rock
like the
stars. I
rocks-
mean, they were.
absolutely.
He was an incredibly wealthy guy, but from cartooning,
Yeah.
and had a syndication with all the major newspapers,
Yeah.
and was a horrendously wealthy man.
Just from being, which is probably like our, I don't know, the YouTube star, not YouTube stars.
It would be
of
like a
today, but-
musician, like an A-list musician, basically.
Yeah.
And think of U2 or something like that. And he was the man back in the day from cartooning, and he put his money into the sanctuary as it is today.
Well, he because of his fame and fortune, he used that political swagger, I guess you could
Clout,
say,
yeah.
clout to conserve. He was huge into conservation, so he used that clout to spur people on to conserve lands, and from that, the Sanibel Wildlife Refuge was renamed in his honor, which is now called the J.N. Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge that we have here on the island.
Ding being his nickname.
Right.
Is it?
He's kind of
Yeah.
short. Right. Ding is the short of darling, so he took the D from the capital letter D and the ing at the end and shortened it into Ding.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the book if you want to look it up. There's the ISBN, so you can look it up.
Right, and definitely check out the local bookstores, which is Jeans and Macintosh Books, and I'm sure the gift shop at the Wildlife Sanctuary Refuge has the book.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually, I don't know if you knew, there's 2 stores now. They've opened another one. Have you
No,
seen
I didn't know
another
that.
one? Yeah.
No, where at?
There's- It's on Periwinkle, right past the Bean.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did see it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
used to be the little chocolate shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I
they've-
did see it.
Opened like an annex for the gift shop.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we haven't been there yet, so I'm sure they sell it too.
Okay, cool.
There's
Good
the
book.
man. There's the man himself.
Yeah.
Ding Darling in 1918.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was not like a was he a Sanibel
No,
resident?
he's from Sioux City. Well, Iowa, I think, is where he was born.
Sioux Falls.
Sioux City, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Two
Yeah,
Pulitzer
so
prizes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
What I like too, I just learned this in the book. This little X that he put on his signature. He was friends with Herbert Hoover, who was president. I wrote it down in 1929 to 1933, and he was good friends with Herbert Hoover, and he would go and visit him. And I guess Herbert Hoover's wife, her name was Lou. Her and Ding had this secret code, and anytime that he would actually, so sometimes he would draw the cartoons and he would finish them himself, or other times he would rough sketch them in and his assistant would finish off the cartoon. So anytime he would do it from start to finish, he would put this little X on his signature on the cartoon, and that was kind of like a little secret code to Mrs. Hoover that for some reason she wanted to know that he had done it
From start to finish. Oh,
right.
wow. That's cool.
So I just learned that. I'm kind of halfway through the book. So I guess towards the end of his life, he used the X all the time. But at the beginning, that was his little secret code to Herbert Hoover's wife.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
Max, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, he was 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner, which is pretty impressive. I didn't realize his first name was literally Jay.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the J is Jay, and then the N is his middle name, which was Norwood, and last name Darling. So it's shortened to J, the letter J, period, N, period, Ding.
Ding being his nickname.
And Darling.
Yeah. The world's longest, most confusing refuge name in the world.
I still get kind of tongue twisted when I say it. It's a J.N. Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge is the proper name.
Ding in the middle.
Right, which is
great place.
5,200 acre parcel of land. There's a 4-mile track that you can drive through, and you can see amazing wildlife. You never know what you're gonna find.
Probably should have said that to start with, but yeah.
Right.
Okay, so that's the book you've been doing. What else you got, Max? Anything?
I have some trivia. We'll get some trivia going.
All right, go on, hit me.
All right. So, ring the bell if you think you know it. Closest without going over.
Nope.
Closest without going over gets the points. So, on Sanibel, Sanibel is known for its wildlife.
Yep.
Especially their birds.
Okay.
How many bird species are known to be on Sanibel?
Ooh.
Without going over.
240?
Your guess, Dad?
I'm gonna say.
We need an answer.
I'm gonna say. How many did you say?
I'm not telling. Just answer.
I'm gonna say 150.
All right. It's 245. So, Mom, you were really close.
She didn't know that at all, did she?
We actually just wrote a blog post about the snowy plover, which is a bird species that you'll see on the beaches all the time.
I wonder who looked up that fact.
I did not.
She's cheating?
Yeah,
No.
totally.
Cheating accusations?
Oh, she came within 4. Come on. Please.
All right. Okay.
We'll scrap that one from the
So,
record,
speaking of the Causeway, we've got 2 Causeway questions. The span A,
which is the first
the
bridge.
first span, the biggest bridge.
The tallest bridge.
It was made high so that they could get rid of the drawbridge. What is the exact height of span A?
Go on. You read first.
Is just bigger than 90% of sailboats.
Yep.
95 feet.
95 feet? Go ahead.
I'll say 75.
Okay, well, you both went over, but Mom was the closest. It was 70. She's within 5 again. Let's count them out. 2 points. 2 points, Mom?
Yes.
0 points, Dad?
I think
all right.
somebody's cheating.
And then this one might be easy, but the length of the causeway, the total length of the causeway. Yeah.
I'll say 3 miles.
Dad?
Oh, 3 miles. 3.1.
3.1. It is 3 miles. It is 3 miles.
So
3 points, Mom.
She
dinged first.
This is.
She dinged first.
I'm
Dad, you need to start studying.
3.1.
No, did you ask her which questions to ask?
No, I did not.
I think you did.
Yeah. Sorry about it, Dad.
Okay.
There's no coming back from that. All right. I think that's all we've got.
All right. Well, have a fantastic.
And don't forget this is the last weekend for the farmers market on Sunday till they close for the season. We just put out a video. Last week we interviewed Jean Bear, who is one of the co-founders of the Sanibel Farmers Market.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week we just put out a video. You want to tell them about the video, Nick?
The farmers market video.
Oh, the farmers market video. Yeah, we filmed around the farmers market. I thought this was something different. So there's a farmers market video on the YouTube channel, but all can be found on the Sancap Guide blog. And just
Nick flew over with his drone, not over it, but around it, the perimeter,
Mm-hmm.
and showed an overhead view of all the stalls, and then we kind of went on the ground.
Yeah, it's all about it. So check it out. It's a lot of interesting info on there.
Yeah, but it's definitely, this is the last weekend, so make sure you get there. It's on Sunday from 9 to 12, I think.
8 to 12 on
8 to
Sanibel.
12.
It's Tuesday. is the Captiva one. That's 9 to 12. 9 to 1, actually. 8 to 1 and 9 to 1.
So I think in your earphones you get Max feeding you the answers to all the questions, because I see how this works now. You get it wrong and Max...
I'm feeding her answers. Yeah. That's it.
Exactly. Okay. Have a fantastic Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to have the weekend off and enjoy it. So enjoy it,
See you at the Causeway.
I'm Nick.
Laurie.
Max.
Have a great weekend. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much for joining us on this episode of the podcast. I'd like to say a special thank you to our sponsors, Spoondrift Island Bowls, Breakaway Vacations, and GatorBites Tail and Ale. Without supporters and sponsors, this content wouldn't be possible, and we are looking for people to come and join the community and help us carry on making great content. So if that's something you'd be interested in, please go to thesandcapguide.com and fill out the contact information, and we'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.